That's why it's probably better that you have that one, because I make a lot of noise anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. You do make a lot of noise.
You're right.
Hey.
Hey!
So, this is Are You With Me Right Now, episode 8. No, because we did 007.
Enjoy our alcohol ASMR while we're doing this.
This episode is brought to you by Gin and Ginger Ale and podcasting in person.
Woo! Throwback to episode 1.
I don't think we've done this since episode 1.
I haven't been in a room with you since episode 1.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I've enjoyed every second of our time apart.
Me too. Hashtag avoidant.
Yeah, for real.
But no, here we are together. Anyway, that's about all.
No, we're not done.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought that was the end of it.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
So what's going on? What are we doing?
We're drinking and podcasting. And I don't know that I'm being avoidant, but I'm just like being a potato over here.
I kind of feel like you've been avoidant the past couple days.
What?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why?
I don't know.
What have we done the last couple days?
Well, yesterday was different. So we're like full steam ahead hanging out with my kid now.
What was yesterday? No, you came over for dinner with your kid and we cooked and stuff.
Yeah. So yesterday, not so much.
What happened before that? Give me an example.
I don't know. Well, like today, you went like, "Hey, I'm going dark for an hour or so."
Yeah, because I was listening to the Emotional Incest Syndrome.
Yeah, I know.
Which makes me want to fucking die.
I know. I think it's related to that.
Today definitely is. A couple days ago. What day is it? Today is Wednesday.
Sure.
Question mark. I met your ex-wife on Sunday.
Kind of.
I mean, if you can call that meeting her.
That's my ex-wife.
Yep. I mean, I guess that's why if I did a worksheet, then I was fine.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what else I did.
Oh, I'm not accusing you. I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing.
What?
It's fine. Well, today was just about. Today's the best example of it. That you've just been a little distant because you're not feeling well emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I'm not like taking offense to it. Like I'm not. Remember, I'm not anxious attachment style. So when you get avoidant, I'm not like. I don't.
Oh, you don't have like feelings about it?
Right. Yeah.
What's that like?
It's like sweet. I get to be avoidant now too. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
Not true.
No, it's not that. It's just. I don't know.
Well, you are anxious too. You're like 75-25, avoidant anxious. So it's in there. Sometimes when I get avoidant, you're like, please come back.
Yeah.
That happens too.
Yeah. And I think that's what I'm doing now.
Okay. Well, today I kind of knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. And I get it. You're going through a lot.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about it?
Grief processing. Sure. I'd like to stop thinking about it. So yes, that means I have to say it out loud.
Okay.
So my therapist assigned me a book and it's ruining my life. The end. I've already told you guys about this book, but it's the Emotional Incest Syndrome. I don't remember who it's by, but it's on Audible and it'll make you real sad. So go and look it up. But so I've been reading it. I don't know. I started it a couple weeks ago. I've definitely ignored it for about a month or two at this point. And my therapist has been telling me, he's been kind of checking in, like, have you read it lately? I'm like, no, because I don't want to, because it makes me sad. Like, it makes me want to throw up. But
I'm blue because I'm sad.
Huh?
I'm blue because I'm sad.
I'm blue because I'm sad. But he's been pushing me to get back into it. And with my, like, you know, along with my own desire to keep doing it, because drawing it out doesn't help. And I'm actively in the grief process now. So avoiding it just means I'm going to have to deal with the intense anger and sadness longer. It's like if I'm going to do the grief work, I have to do the grief work. So he and I talked about me reading it more by the next time we meet.
Is this it? The Emotional Incest Syndrome, What to Do When a Parent's Love Rules Your Life?
No.
By Dr. Patricia Love with Joe
I don't
Robinson?
think so. Actually, let's find out.
Okay. Pull it up, Jamie.
I appreciate your Googling.
Jamie, pull it up.
But I think that's wrong. Where's my audio? It's got a cute little elephant on the cover because Emotional Incest is the elephant in the room. Oh, it is Patricia Love. Sorry. I'd never paid attention to who wrote it, actually.
1991.
Yeah. The case studies are like, the language they use is kind of funny.
They say the word VHS tape sometimes.
No.
They use
No.
the N word a lot.
No.
Oh, it's 91, not 71. 61.
No, 1991, not 1891. I was like, yeah, it's that one, and it's horrible. It's fine. It's important, and it's good that I'm listening to it. But shoot, buddy, does make me feel like dirty. I usually listen to it exclusively in the bathtub, which I take baths for like self-care anyway. But I haven't been doing that lately because I haven't really wanted to. It just comes and goes in a cycle, so I just haven't been in the bath much. But it makes me feel like physically dirty. As my therapist says, it pulls my covers and makes me realize like things that have been going on are different than I thought they were, that there was a meaning, underlying a lot of the actions that my parents took with me. And I think I'm poopy today because I already knew my dad did that stuff, but I didn't fully realize that my mom does that too. And this is very indicative of how I treat my parents and how my parents have treated me. My dad, I'm very actively angry at. Like when I feel something about my dad, it is kind of explosive, and he's been fairly pathetic recently. Like that's a word that I would use to describe my dad as an actively mean one, like pathetic. But with my mom, I'm kind of just like I just pulled back, and I'm kind of more despondent than I am actively pissed. Because I'm realizing that a lot of how my mom treated me was like as if I was an extension of my dad. And my brother as well.
You've kind of always told me that, though.
Yes, but I think today I got the point that she was really jealous. My dad didn't show her any sort of affection. He showed her outright violence and anger. And, my dad is incredibly irresponsible with everything that he does, whether it's drinking, whether it's spending money. Like he's reckless and he's selfish. And my mom never really got healthy love from him. And he cares about my brother and me so much. Like, I'm not denying that. But he poured himself into us and really fucked with my mom. Like, actively hurt her. Like, my brother and I were in the room while he, like, tried to kill her a couple times. While he was drunk. At least one of the times. So she never really had a good relationship with him. And she knew that going in, and that's her own damn fault, too. Is that she knew that he was a drunk. She knew that he was not a good person, and she stayed anyway because her mom has been married a million times. So my mom said, oh, I could just get a divorce. And she's told me that. But she always had a shitty marriage or a relationship with my dad. And she saw him pour so much love and devotion into us. She was probably like, felt like the displaced spouse is how they refer to it in the book. So she probably took out a lot of her like wrath or just loneliness and that sort of jealousy like on me. Especially with me because I was the female, like the opposite sex kid. But she would lock my brother out of the house, and they had a horrible relationship when he was younger too, even before he started using drugs. So I'm just getting a new perspective on what that felt like for my mom and why she lashed out at me. And that's why I'm kind of like, eh.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm down with that.
You're down with it?
Yeah, I'm about that life.
Greetings, fellow kids. Thanks, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, fam.
Yeah, stop. So yeah, it's more like a muted, this sucks, as opposed to I fucking hate everything, which is how I feel when I'm like dealing with dad specifically.
Yeah. I'm sorry I don't have any like input there, and I don't really have much like advice as far as that goes. I mean, I don't know. My family life is always pretty good. I mean, yeah, I kind of felt like dad was like not present a lot, but it didn't really matter because mom was there a lot. And I mean, it's not that like dad was never there. Dad was around sometimes. But yeah, I mean, home life was always good and pleasant and like even keel, I guess. It was always stable. Home life was. I know there was one point in time where they split up.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't for very long. I don't know what happened. Mom probably caught dad cheating on her or something.
Oof.
And he went and stayed with his parents for, I guess, just like a week. And I think they just told us at the time that he was just house sitting for him.
You have told me this. It's been a
Yeah.
while.
But I mean, that's about all I know of that story. I've filled in some of those blanks on my own. But yeah, I mean, other than that, and like at the time, that was completely transparent to us. So
Really?
I mean, yeah. So yeah, home life was always stable as shit.
That's fucking revolutionary. Your parents actually told you things that were happening, even when they weren't a great depiction of them. When those things didn't depict them very well. The fuck?
Wait, what?
Like that was transparent.
No, as in transparent, as in I didn't see it happen.
Oh, transparent
Yes.
usually means like communicated clearly.
Right? No,
JK.
it was. It might as well have not happened almost.
Huh. That's interesting too.
Yeah, no.
But it seems to have been like a blip as opposed to the norm.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember the instance of it. I don't remember how I even know those details of it. I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, it beats me. Who knows?
No, you beat me.
Yeah.
Haha. Oh.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, like I remember one time, I think my mom called my dad a son of a bitch. That's about as hard as it got.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. That's
Damn.
about as hard as it got, yeah.
I mean, oof at that, but
I think we were in like the parking lot of a Toys R Us or something too.
the perfect place for a marital showdown.
Right, yeah. But that was about it. I don't even know what dad said. He just pissed mom off and she gave him that right hook there.
That's kind of hilarious. Oops.
Yeah. Other than that, I remember after I moved out, mom and dad would argue a lot. They would
Yeah.
just bicker a lot. They didn't argue a lot.
I
They
think
would
that's
just
what
kinda,
happens when you get married for a long time.
yeah, they would just bicker at each other, and I'd come over and hang out. And they'd start bickering, and I'd be like, well, see y'all later. And I'd just get up and leave. Yeah, to the point where one time, I came over and they were like, well, we shouldn't talk to each other, because our son might leave.
Which is really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at some point, like, I just got up and, I mean, I was in control,
Yeah.
That's what's weird that, like, I don't know, like, you're almost still a child to your parents.
I'm definitely still a child of my parents. Yeah, I was about to touch on that actually in a minute. I had a couple comments on what we just said. Can I do that?
Mhm.
Do I remember them? That's the question. Most pressing was Jesus Christ, that sounds nice. When I was growing up, so psychologically your memory begins at 3. My parents split up when I was 6, divorced when I was 8. So really from the get-go, I was being told nasty things, like outright nasty things about both parents from either parent, which continues to this day. My parents act like they've never said any of those things. So I've never heard, well, it's mostly like, oh, your mom is a snake, like she's trying to squeeze me for every penny I have, or your dad is irresponsible and mean and narcissistic, and which is true. But
Both of those statements.
can relate. I don't know about the money one.
Yeah.
But like that's what I grew up hearing. And it was never a blip. It was like your mother's actively trying to ruin my life and steal from me, and like she uses you as pawns and you don't matter to her. And your dad is, I mean, most of what she says about my dad I have found to be true, but it still wasn't okay for me to hear those things when I was little. And I don't know, it would have been fucking nice not to have to hear that. So I'm really glad you didn't go through that. Every time you talk about your home life, you're like, mine was really normal. I'm like, fucking great for you. Like both sarcastically and genuinely. Like I'm really glad that wasn't your experience. I feel like I'm continuously uncovering like worse things about my childhood. Like I know it, but it's still like the depth of it was like, oh cool, there are still more layers of like there really was no semblance of any healthy relationship. Like my parents kind of displaced each other. Like my dad put so much love and enmeshment into my brother and me that my mom was like completely left out. And my brother and I are my dad's surrogate spouse and friend. which is gross and upsetting. And I feel bad for my mom, but also like she was broken and flawed and came into it with her own reasons and knew that going in. And she decided to take it out on us. Like she probably couldn't control it, but it doesn't really matter. You know? And yes, my parents definitely still think I'm a kid. This is actually in the book. It made me laugh in a sad way. My brother and I were both kind of the chosen child. It's very confusing. Talking to my therapist is like, both of us were both the chosen child and the scapegoat at different times. Sorry, did you want to say something? So that's why it's so complicated. Like when you and I talk about attachment, like I'm both anxious and avoidant, and so are you. But I'm very split between, I was both neglected and abused. And there's a lot of, as the subreddit Raised by Narcissists says, a lot of fleas, which are, I don't remember what they're called. They're like long-lasting consequences of narcissism. I have fleas on both sides.
Fleas like the bug?
Yeah, it's an acronym. I can't remember what it stands for. If you could look it up, if you wouldn't mind.
Pull it up, Jamie.
That's what makes it so fucking confusing, though, is there are aspects of both, and neglect and abuse have different effects. But so I struggle with, like, I flip-flop between both of those things. What a fabulous sub, honestly. It's sad as fuck, but it's nice that there's a support. There's also a subreddit for BPD, which is pretty cool. I actually posted about it years ago. Or like, I don't know, 2 years ago at the most. Yeah, so the book, that's what I was going with. The book mentioned that a chosen child who kind of tries to claim their independence, which usually happens during adolescence, but I was definitely a late bloomer. I currently am a late bloomer. And it used to be, or like during adolescence, it would be, rebelling and wanting to build your own sense of self and things like that.
Okay, so fleas comes from the adage, lie down with dogs and you're bound to get fleas. That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
It's when a non-personality disordered individual begins imitating or emulating some of the disordered behavior of a loved one or family member with a personality disorder. This is sometimes referred to as getting fleas.
From the adage, lie down with dogs and you'll get fleas.
I know Raised by Narcissist, it's like, I forget what the F is, but it's long-lasting effects of abuse. I forget what the F is, but they've made an acronym out of it. So it does come from that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know it came from that, so thank you.
Well, and this is just some random internet source too, so.
True. I appreciate you looking it up. Thank you.
Out of the fog website. I mean, that's definitely a...
website?
Yeah, that's,
Nice.
That's a trustworthy...
I think so.
Yeah.
One of my social work professors would probably take that as an academic source.
Ooh.
Fucking stupid. Anyway. But yeah, it's like long-lasting effects of abuse. And you can find that, like, if you've had a narcissistic parent, you tend to experience, like, that grandiosity, which I don't. But, like, the devaluation of other people, things like that, where you've picked up little bits. Even if you don't have a personality disorder like I do, you can pick up little bits and perpetuate it just because that's the thought pattern you were raised with. But whatever made me laugh in a sad way today in the book was that when a chosen child, which I was some of the time, my brother and I were both chosen children and scapegoats. It was odd. But when a chosen child tries to take their independence, like buck whatever the parent is telling them, like, be this way to make my life easier, which is very literally what I was told, is that, you're so quiet, you're so good with adults, like, you don't need anything from us. Like, thank you for not needing any attention. That was saying, like, don't have any needs because we're not going to meet them. And all of our attention has to go to your brother. So don't ask for anything. When a chosen child tries to get their independence, they are punished severely. Or like responded to punitively. So your chosen child becomes the damned child or something is what the book was saying, which is true. Evidenced by me telling my dad a couple weeks ago, hey, please don't touch me unless I initiate it. And I've told him that before. This is not the first time. I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago. But that's a pretty normal boundary between a 23-year-old woman and her father.
I mean, it's not like a normal boundary, but If your
It shouldn't
23-year-old
be
daughter,
devastating.
right? Yeah, if your 23-year-old daughter asks you that and it's not the first time, like that should be some cue to like gain some introspection, please.
Yeah, and that's not what happened. But it shouldn't. My choices and my boundaries shouldn't be something devastating to my parent. I'm not the parent. But my dad lashed out at me and said, like, why do you hate me? I've only ever shown you love. I don't understand anything that you're feeling, and I don't know why you're doing this to me. Like, he lashes out at me punitively.
Oh, well, read this book then and you'll understand.
Oh my gosh, my therapist is like, tell him that. I'm like, I would really like to. But then he'll probably never talk to me again. But would that be a bad thing? Uncertain. Jury's still out on that one.
I don't think he would never talk to you again.
He might. He might. There are a lot of scenarios that I envision. Are they accurate? I'm not really sure. But there are lots of lines that I'm still afraid to cross with him. And telling him that he has, in whatever way I choose to do that, telling him that he's been emotionally incestuous with me could be really scary, I think, for me. Well, one, that's like, oh my God. It's like making me cringe right now. First of all, he would most definitely tell me that I'm disgusting and that I've read into everything that he does in a way that makes it gross, and that I'm flawed and broken and disgusting. Like, to construe a father's love that way. That I can hear him saying, like, well, you see what you want to see. I've never done anything like that to you. On the worst end, he would like get angry and like probably hurt me. I've seen him be violent so many times. Like, why would I not make that a possibility?
Like your book, like this whole covert incest thing. Is it intentional on the part of the aggressor?
I would say generally no. Being raised in an enmeshed household and not having any introspection causes you to create an enmeshed household. And you marry people that kind of facilitate that. My mom was in a household that left her the fuck alone completely. Her dad was never there. And she married someone who kind of perpetuated that cycle, like was never really there for us in a healthy way, and who abandoned her. It's what you grow up with, you seek and you recreate. So it's not on purpose, I don't think. We talked about this recently. It's like, yeah, he didn't do it on purpose, but that doesn't make it okay. And now that I'm pointing it out to him over and over and over again, and he still won't look inside himself, it's like, fine, I don't give a fuck if you did it on purpose. Like, that doesn't matter anymore. You're being shown and you're not changing, and you've done what you're doing. And like, I don't give a shit why anymore, or whether it's your fault. You're actively being a douchebag to me and harming me.
Sure. And yeah, I guess that is what really matters on the tail end of it.
Yeah, I'm running out of space to be understanding. He's been through what he's been through, and that's awful. But so have I, and there are I'm giving him chances to remedy it and like respond in a healthy way, or get fucking therapy, and he won't, and he hasn't. I'm not going to run his life for him, and I can't be attached to whether he changes or not. I just can't. Which is sad. It makes me feel like deprived, but this is what I was angry about a couple weeks ago. Like, I just gotta fucking get over it, I guess.
I guess.
Like, he's not capable of providing me with any healthy relationship. So, I mean, I need to work towards being sane and getting my own serenity, as we say in the 12-step program, without that. And provide it for myself, I guess. Yeah. Oh, but my parents do, like, both of them do treat me punitively when I decide to not be under their thumb. Example A, whatever. Evidence A, I can't think of the word. My taxes.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A, thank you. Taxes. Mom didn't come at me punitively, but she just shut down the conversation. For backstory, cute dude over there, other half of this podcast, was doing my taxes because he's nice and intelligent and likes me. And we had just about everything we needed except for my tax returns for 2017. was like, my mom probably has those because I don't do my own taxes. And I've been avoiding asking her because I didn't want to ask her. And then I finally asked her today, I think.
Yesterday, day before yesterday. It's, this week.
Yeah, it was last night. That's right. It was yesterday. She was at a networking event. My mom makes friends for a living, basically. I said, hey, do you have my tax returns? Dude and I are doing my taxes, and that's the one thing we need. Please and thanks. And the one text she sent back, well, she got snarky with me because I haven't been talking to her very much lately, just because we'll get to that in a sec, but I haven't been calling her. I haven't really been picking up her calls. And she goes, hi, it's nice to hear from you, with a little like hand wavy emoji. I'm like, fuck off. And then she said, I'm having the accountant in insert town near you do them because they have your trust fund information. I'm like, great.
And yeah, I mean, I figured, I don't know, when we started doing your taxes, or when I started doing your taxes, I figured there was, I don't know, you mentioned your trust fund. So I figured that needed to be involved in some way. But I don't know. If it's all in your mom's name, like.
Exactly. My trust is in her name. She's the executor.
Right.
But she's like, oh, yeah, the accountant, whatever, at your trust account place needs to do it. So they have all that information. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I got the estimated tax form for trust funds. I have the directions for it, apparently. But it's just a way that she likes to exert control. Especially because I'm not talking to her right now. I'm not even doing it consciously. Like, every time she calls, though, she turns it into bitching about money.
Yeah.
Within the first 5 minutes of the phone call, it's like, okay, nice to talk to you. Is this really why you called me?
You said that's what your mom's always done, though.
I know, and I hate it. So I get off the phone as fast as I can, or like shut it down. So why would I want to pick up the phone if I'm just going to have to get entangled in this, like, how much money are you spending? Why would you let your friend do that? Why would you let someone spend money on you? I'm like, because I want to do something fun for once. Thanks, though. There's shame. There's so much fucking shame tied up in like anything that I do with her. My friend is taking me to formal in April, which is really fucking cute. I'm excited to go with her. She planned the event, and I'm going to go like be her +1 and look all cute like a grungy Disney princess. My fancy ass dress. I got a new dress. And I called her, or she called me, and we were in the car together. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going shopping with a friend, and we're getting dresses for her formal, and I can't wait. Like, I haven't been to a fancy like dance thing since high school or whatever, and it's going to be really fun. And she goes, oh, well, can't you just borrow one of her dresses? Like, there's no reason to spend money on anything. Like, y'all can just switch dresses. I'm like, we're not even the same size. Also, it's okay to buy things for yourself sometimes. Thanks for your input. I'm going to get off the phone now. It's just, no, I'm genuinely interested in telling her things about my life, and she just shits on it. Like, so why would I pick up the phone? I'm either counseling her or just being told to stop being stupid with my finances. But I'm not that fucking dumb. So why would I answer the phone? And so she gets snarky with me when I ask her for something, especially when it's money related, because I'm not letting her control me. Whatever. I hate it.
Strange.
Yeah, man. No one's normal, apparently.
Yeah, not really. I mean, nobody's really normal.
I guess, but like, why is everyone in my life so fucked up? In my family, you're not fucked up. All my friends are kind of fucked up.
You and I have been, to switch gears a little bit, you and I have been on a philosophical rant.
About what this
since
time?
we met each other.
Oh, true. Since we met each other. What is this one about?
It's the one that we can't seem to get our heads around. What is it about? What is the core of that one?
Give me a hint.
It has to do with like putting people into groups and stuff like that.
I was going to ask you about that this podcast.
Yeah.
Like collective identity and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you are really not about that. And we had an interesting discussion the other day where you're like, I don't really know what my problem is with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. So
Which is
collective
really cool.
identity?
Or like collectivism in general.
Collectivism. And what's your take on that? Again, you've told me before, but
I'm sure I have.
sometimes we have to start at the beginning to...
You're right. And I don't think I've set out like a one-off definition. It's kind of... We tailor it to whatever conversation we're having. This is the core of most things we yell about.
Yeah.
We don't really yell, but we debate things. I guess the merits that I see in collectivism are, or the merit, whatever, as a social worker, I find it like, and as I'm not a statistician, but as someone who's interested in like trends across groups, you kind of need collective identity in order to evaluate and address problems that crop up in specific groups. Not to say like our governmental system of helping anybody is really all that great, but I can't personally conceive of a way to treat like the problems in society that do tend to happen in certain groups, like age groups, racial groups, gender groups. You know, women have a higher rate of being domestically abused or experiencing domestic violence. Like that's a figure that's specific to a certain group. And I have a hard time conceiving of like creating programs efficiently to treat things like DV or I don't know, like depression among seniors and stuff without grouping people, because those things do happen in the incidences are higher among certain demographics. So it kind of, to me, collectivism allows you to track and address problems like that.
Well, I guess just to go on your example though, like I mean, why does it matter that stats say that women are abused at a higher frequency than men? Because I mean, I guess why does that matter? Like, why does that change the treatment? I mean, like, do you just tailor that around getting help for women? I mean, if everyone needs help, if men need help too, why does it matter that women experience it more if everybody needs the same amount of help? I mean, if, you know.
Not everyone does need the same amount of help. There are men that get abused, but it's about 1/5 the number of women that experience domestic violence, I think. So men do, but it's largely a female issue.
You may be running into like a reporting issue as well, though.
True, but do you think... hang on. I'm about to say some things that don't make sense. True, everyone underreports.
Right, but that's just something likely that men would not report. I got beat up by my girlfriend today. I mean, it's something, I agree, it's something less likely to happen because men are stronger than women. Men are more likely to be able to beat their women.
Wow, nice collective identity there.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
That's a collective description of a group.
Sure.
That's like a human thing. Like, there's not really a way to talk about anything larger than like your individual,
right, but
without grouping.
I don't know that the solution is any different for men than it is women, though.
How do you mean?
Like, how do you fix domestic violence in women?
I don't fucking know.
All right, and then the follow-up question to that, though, is how do you fix domestic violence against men? Like, if it's not different, why does it matter that it happens at different ratios?
The solutions are the same. The one that I'm thinking of, which I guess is just informing people, like making it abundantly known to young people of any gender. Like if your spouse, if your partner, if your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever treats you this way, it is not okay. And this is who you contact for that. That's the solution, I guess, is just fucking tell people when they're young. I mean, one of the solutions, there's not like an end all be all for anything, especially not DV. The real root cause is people being abused by their parents, probably, and then perpetuating it.
Yeah, more than likely.
I guess as a detection thing, though, I don't know. This is what's currently coming to mind, is as a detection strategy, like you know where to look in low-income heterosexual relationships. Like, or there are lots of different, it tends to be like a lower education level, you beat your people. Which is funny because my dad is very educated. But it's kind of like spanking your kids too. Like being more physical is correlated with lower education level. So usually like low income, low education, homes, heterosexual relationships. What else is there? I don't know what other demographics, but probably is like I don't know. It's like a way to target the information. Because like there's not enough resources to check in every fucking home or whatever. I don't know. Like it's not possible to do everything. So you should know like where it's more likely to happen and target those areas. I mean, I guess that's currently what's coming to mind with me. I don't know if that made sense, but that's what I pulled out.
Yeah, I guess it kind of does. I don't know. I guess it is kind of hard to talk about this
I don't mind talking about
topic generally, though. I mean, like, because I don't know if we don't really have an argument that's based in collectivism. Like, I'm not as passionate about it.
Wait, repeat that?
I said, I guess if we're not having like an argument that's based in collectivism, I find it hard to be passionate about it. Like,
well, get mad about it.
I don't remember what we were specifically addressing.
What were we talking about? When was this? Was it a couple days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I came and visited you for lunch. We were talking over text.
Yeah.
Ramble. I'll find it.
I'm gonna go make another drink while you find it. Jamie, pull that up.
So this all started. You are so cute. Holy shit. He just like flounced over with his curly hair and cute face. That's all.
I was looking at your boobs.
There you go. Got a good view?
Sure.
So we were discussing Mike Boudet.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Mike Boudet.
Yeah. And let's see.
Yeah, the Sword and Scale podcast was
Yeah.
pulled from Wondery because he made a joke about cunts. Oh, the C word. Whoops, I just got our podcast banned from everything because I said cunt.
To give a little more context, he posted something calling women dumb cunts and suggesting murdering them. No.
He said, I don't understand dumb cunts, so I guess I'll take one apart. He didn't call women dumb cunts. He said he didn't understand dumb cunts.
That's a really important difference. Thank you for noting that.
It is language matters, person.
And how would you take apart a person? Isn't that called murder?
You wouldn't. It's a joke. That's what's so stupid.
It was a prank.
That's what's so stupid.
It was a prank. So we talked about that. I had to dig into it.
If he comes out as some sort of serial killer or cannibal, I'll eat my shoes, I guess. But like, until then, I'll make sure he does.
Let's see. Yeah, I went over and stalked his Instagram a little bit to see what was going on. But yeah, that was us talking about, let's see, oh, this was actually one of the arguments that I was kind of proud of on my part, but I don't know. It's probably really invalid, but whatever. We were talking about like he posted that meme picture, whatever, on his professional account, on the SNS account, and not his personal account, which to me matters.
I
don't know if it actually does, but I'm just clarifying. He posted it on the SNS account. It is now deleted. And two other podcasters who are being little bitches, like tagged all of Wondery's like sponsors in it and like really pushed to get Mike Boudet and SNS off the air. Or like pushed to get them dropped from Wondery.
And then claimed they didn't have anything to do with it. And they've had Mike, and one of the guys had Mike Boudet banned, and you know.
From what?
Just Twitter. Or not
He's been banned from Twitter?
Not banned from Twitter, but this guy had blocked Mike Boudet's Twitter page so that he couldn't see his posts, blah blah blah. But yeah, but then
he's a baby, whatever.
Well, then he's the one retweeting Mike's post to advertisers. It's real stupid and white knighty and shady, and yeah.
I was say this guy sounds fucking dumb.
Yeah, the guy,
which was originally my perspective as well. Like
yeah.
He just sounds like a freaking baby.
He's a nice guy.
TM.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Does he have the neck beard? I didn't look up his picture.
I think he was. He's. I don't know.
Yeah, this whole thing was a fucking mess. I'm just going through our texts. You hate everything. Summary.
Yes.
We already knew that though.
I'm a cynical bastard.
Yes. So kind of what our argument boiled down to was it right for Wondery to drop them?
Right. I don't know if this had to do with collectivism so much, but I think this is a different argument. That I think
true. It was
citizens,
really interesting though.
Yeah, I think citizens and people have just as much of a of an obligation to protect free speech as our government does. I mean, those are two completely different arguments. This is not a First Amendment argument. This is a do the right thing, pay for the guy's car sort of argument.
Thank you, Mike Birbiglia.
I mean, this is like a
pay for the guy's car.
Yeah, this is you're anytime you try to get someone else deplatformed or banned or censored or silenced, you're a flaming piece of shit. You're the worst type of human being that there is. Because you're trying to silence someone else. You're trying to stifle their anything, their output, their words, man. I mean, who cares if that's what that other person believes? It's what they believe. I mean, there is no hate speech protection. You know, I mean, hate speech is just whatever you determine, whatever someone's opinion of hate is.
True, but a private company is not the government, and no one's obligated to pay you.
They're not, but it's still a piece of shit move.
In my opinion, the Aaron, who the fuck ever, who writes lore, I don't know, and the girl who hosts,
I don't know, don't say their podcast.
Whatever ripoff podcast it is.
Piece of shit. It's
always
a
been a
monument
piece of
to
shit.
compromise.
Whatever it is, the two people that did that, like, they are a piece of shit, but to me, they're kind of secondary. To the argument, they're kind of not factoring in for me. Like, I know they're fucking dumb and like it was completely unnecessary, but it's always at your employer's discretion to fire you if they don't like how you're representing their brand.
Yeah, but the argument here, and Mike Boudet's argument is that he wouldn't have been fired if it wasn't for like this guy and this other chick and maybe one or two other people like inciting this. Like they set fire to the brush here for no reason. Well, for the reason that he is competition.
True. They are competing podcasts.
That's what's so shitty about it.
It is really shitty. I'm not arguing on the other side of that. It is really shitty. However, posting like non-SNS stuff on your SNS page leaves it subject to your employer's approval or like your sponsor's approval. Like, and that's just kind of how it comes down. This is what I said in our conversation, like as a social worker, if I show up sporting a fucking hood at a KKK rally, I'm going to get fired real quick.
Well, see, this is what I love about Bill Burr's podcast, is Bill Burr does not give and Bill Burr publishes his own podcast. And that's also the other thing is that, you know, there's something to be said about being self-published. Like,
exactly.
We're self-published. Like, but I'm not going to ever bend to the will of an advertiser or fucking anybody. I don't think I'd ever monetized any sort of podcast via advertisements.
And that's the difference here is he was being paid to represent, like, from what I'm reading, do I know anything? No. But from what I was reading, like, he has the funds to publish his own thing. So why are you getting so butthurt when you get dropped by someone else? Like, now you're just not controlled by anyone else's money. Like, congrats. Now you can say whatever you want with no consequences. But free speech and free speech without judgment are two separate things. And the second one doesn't exist.
Right.
Especially when you're taking someone else's money.
But it's still a shitty move. I mean, I appreciate him letting me know that these people are pieces of shit for censoring him or for attempting, you know, for doing their part in getting him shut down.
And I feel that. I think he's being like the grossest person ever in how he's handling it. I think there are a lot of ways to go about it.
Yeah, he's immature, sure.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, he could have just called it out without, like, shitting on everything in existence. Like, holy crap.
He's kind of always done that, though.
Stupid. Okay, well, he sounds obnoxious.
Fair enough. I mean, I never followed his Twitter account. I don't
have a Twitter,
follow
so I don't
his
know.
podcast.
I don't have a Twitter, man.
He doesn't bitch in his podcast.
I don't know. It's like,
But that's the difference.
Pointing out that you've been silenced is one thing. Slinging shit everywhere and like blowing up all over yourself is a different thing entirely. Like, I don't want to listen to him. Like, I don't really give a shit what he says right now. Like, I get it. And it's a rights issue and it wasn't cool. But he's kind of just being stupid. It's like, I'm not really interested.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's drama.
Yeah. And he's just making a lot of the drama. Well, so is Aaron What's-His-Face.
Yeah.
So this is a stupid situation. But I stand by the point, like, if you're being funded by someone else, there are stipulations to that, especially if they have a contract. Like, the guidelines were already laid out. No one is obligated to pay you something if you misrepresent them.
Yeah.
And I get that there was like shady shit between and like they might not have even seen it, but it's still at their discretion.
Yeah.
They could have done nothing with it, but it obviously bothered them enough that they did something with it.
Well, I hope that he self-publishes at this point. I mean,
I think that's what I read is that they're currently releasing exclusively on Patreon. Monstro is not happening anymore, but until they get their platform built, they're gonna just put shit on Patreon.
And that's fine because Monstro was I
heard it was not good. I don't know.
It was fiction. And it was just, yeah. I can't listen to like fiction podcasts. It feels like a waste of my time.
It's the true crime that makes it interesting to you.
Yeah. Yeah, the fictional aspect of it just makes it feel like a waste of time. Like, that's why I couldn't get into Welcome to Night Vale. I tried.
I love that podcast. I haven't listened to it in I don't know how fucking long, but I love Welcome to Night Vale.
It might as well just be a bunch of stupid words strung together.
That's what anything is.
Yeah, but these don't have any meaning to them.
I love them, though. I fucking love that podcast. It's because it's weird. It's creative and interesting.
It's not creative.
And Cecil is my favorite. I haven't listened to that podcast in forever, like since high school. Fuck. Okay, but from what I hear about SNS, though, like I am morbidly drawn to it. But from what I'm hearing, it's just fucking trauma porn, which sounds awful.
Trauma porn.
Yeah. Like just fucking milking how gory something is. Or like, I think there's a line of respect in that sort of stuff. Like you don't need to fucking get off on it.
I don't know. I never felt like he disrespected anybody.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, he goes into like the crazy, gruesome details of it. I mean, I've never heard anything as detailed as Sword and Scale for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like it's like, I don't know. Is it gratuitous? I don't know.
What is it? Gratuitous fan service?
Yeah.
Titties.
Yeah, that's gratuitous. That's porn right there. I'm looking at porn.
Congratulations, real life porn.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend's hot.
Yeah.
That's
about all. So,
that's all I have to say about that, I guess. I don't know. I'd like to listen to an episode and see how I like it. But it sounds fucking gruesome.
It is.
And I don't know that I can handle that. I'm a special snowflake, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Whatever.
I know, millennial. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm distracting. Okay,
yeah, you are. Yeah. So we started playing video games together.
Yes, Portal 2 is so fun. I'm very picky about what I play. I was kind of getting discouraged. Like, I do like Slime Rancher. It's hard. Like, I don't know. It's easy to kind of lose a purpose in it, though. So I mean,
I guess so. I always had purpose, though. Well, I'm really into, like, exploration kind of games.
And I am to an extent. I much prefer a story. I'm really liking Slime Rancher, but I have less motivation to go back to it just because it's not directed.
So Terraria is not the game for you.
No, I really like a storyline, especially a non-linear storyline, or one that has multiple like choices. Kind of like, what is it, Hotel Dusk that I'm playing right now?
Oh, okay.
I'm stuck in that game. But whatever. I tend to like having a mission. I'm very task oriented. So there's parts of that in Slime Rancher, which is good too. But I'm playing Portal 2, and I'm actually doing pretty well at it, which is really cool and really fun. Like, I really like it.
It's one of the best games of all time.
I really fucking love it.
But I put you on 2
because it was multiplayer.
Just because it's multiplayer.
And we've multiplayed together, and it's so fun.
Yeah, just for like storyline purposes, you really should have started on 1.
You're right.
But one day, just go back and play 1 and then play 2 right behind it again, and you'll still get it. I mean, it'll all click into place. You're not really missing a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm missing out. When I was playing earlier, when you were doing the rehearsal, like, I was thinking, like, I would love to go back and play 1. I'll probably really need to. But right now, it doesn't feel like I'm deprived. I just need to go back. And then there'll be even more meaning in the second game.
There will be. 1,
which I'm excited for.
1 is like super bare bones compared to 2.
Really?
As far as like, yeah, environments and stuff like that. I mean, it gets pretty cool, but it doesn't explore nearly the depths that Portal 2 does.
I'm mostly really excited to see what the environment looks like when it's not fucking like Apocalypse Destroyed.
That's Portal 2.
I know.
Oh, you're talking about
Portal
the
2
first
is
Portal,
Apocalypse
yeah.
Destroyed.
Yeah,
Destroyed. I'm excited to play Portal 1
I gotcha.
so I can see what it looks like before all that shit.
Did you make it to Cave Johnson yet?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm stuck on this one fucking level that you're going to help me with when we're done.
Okay. You did get thrown down the garbage chute by GLaDOS, though.
Was that the garbage? Yeah, I was in the incinerator room.
The incinerator, sure.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm past that now. We started testing again.
Oh, okay.
I've gone through, I don't know, like 7 tests or so. I'm pretty not far into it, but I've done more than a couple tests.
Yeah, cool.
And this is like really funky. This is kind of dumb, and I wish I'd played more video games when I was younger. I mostly watched my brother play video games. There was one test that I was kind of stuck on, and I was like, "Oh, let me just try everything. Like, who cares if I die? I just reload my last save. Like, there's no wrong answer, so let me just try it." And then I got out of it. Like, I figured out the level, and it was really great. I'm like, haha, if only I'd done this earlier and had a lot more self-esteem about like my own problem-solving abilities. It's crazy. And then, so I stared at the one that I'm currently stuck on for like half an hour. I'm like, I figured out the last one. I can figure this one out. And I'm stuck, and that's okay. But it's kind of crazy how much confidence a game can give you. And actual, like, real fucking problem-solving skills, which I was never given. So I'm really enjoying it.
Cool.
Because, like, I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's funny.
I know.
I grew up playing video games and solving problems and going through stories and stuff.
Well, yeah, and you're smart as fuck, so.
Whatever.
Correlation? Yes.
Could be.
Because I'm book smart, but you're like problem solving smart.
Yeah, that's all the video games for sure.
Yeah.
That's all the hours I put into Portal and Portal 2.
Thanks, whatever company makes Portal.
Valve.
Thank you.
No thanks, Valve. I've been hanging on a cliffhanger for 11, 12 years now.
So old. Did you just nod into the microphone?
Yeah.
I
I know.
I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah, so we're playing Portal together, and it's really fun. We did a really cool, like, complicated scenario last time. We figured it out. It was fun.
Yep. Yeah, we're working through the co-op missions, and they're fun.
I'm freaking enjoying it.
All right, let's go play Portal 2.
Okay, bye.
Anyway,
That's about all. Peace out.
peace out.